Sup, everybody? How's everybody doing? Hopefully, everybody's doing well. So, in case you don't know, hi, I'm SolarLune. I am an independent game developer, hobbyist kind of guy who makes games for fun. And yeah, today we're going to be doing some coding and stuff, game development. But we're going to be doing it in a slightly different approach than usual. We're going to be using Go, the Go language. So this will be fun. So in case you don't know, Go is a language made by Google, and it's been around for a little while. It's kind of popular, but it's not really like super duper trendy or anything. It's kind of like, I guess you could say, kind of C. It's kind of like low level, but not super duper so. And that's kind of one of the things I like about it, is that it's low level, but like it has basically the stuff that you need and nothing much more than that. So like if it's super used for a lot of things, then it might be in the language, or if it's necessary, but other than that, it's not there. So that's kind of what I like about it, is that it's a really kind of concise and simple language. It's just like it's interesting. It's interesting. It's kind of like an expression in kind of just having what's necessary, kind of an expression of reduction, I guess you could say, when it comes to the language. So I'm a fan, and I thought that'd be kind of interesting to use it and see what we make. So let's see here. There we go. Let's put that down there. Okay, all right. Okay, and I have a web browser open to the side where I can kind of Google some things if I run into some issues. I used Go pretty strongly for a little while, maybe like a month, maybe a while ago, and then I stopped using it for like a year or something. Like not a year, but it's been a while. So I'm like kind of just coming back to it and like seeing like, oh, okay, that's how it works. That's right. And it's like it's kind of rough, but at the same time, like I wrote this a sprite loader in Go, so that you can load a sprite, like sprites and animations and stuff. So I wrote that, like I wrote this entire thing, and it works completely fine. And it's like, and now I'm coming back to like use it later. I'm like, what? It works? What? So anyway, we're going to be using Raylib, which is a video game development library, and also we're going to be using Go, and yeah, it'll be interesting. Let's see here. Everyone's saying hello. Hello, how's everyone doing? Let's get some music going in the background real quick. Let's see here. Let's go with let's see. Yeah, that's fine. Let's go with this. Okay. So yeah, if it's too loud or anything, let me know. Alex Rosen says, "Hey, SolarLune, I'm good, thanks. It's late here." Oh, really? Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that you're good. How many languages do you know? That's a good question. I would say I only really know Java, and yeah, that's about it. The other languages I've learned Python in the past. I've used Go for a little bit in the past, but I will only say like Java I know to the point where I would say like I was really good with it, or I am really good with it, and that's what I use, and that's what I use for PDX and for Garand. But once you learn any language, going to any other language is pretty simple. 92 says, "What software do you use for development?" If you check the description, I talk through basically everything. I like link basically all the stuff that I use to kind of sum up what I'm going to be using today. A-Sprite for sprites, Visual Studio Code for writing code, Go for the language, Raylib for the video and audio and collision and stuff. There we go. And yeah, Soundbox for music. This is what we have so far. Hopefully it'll come up, show up on screen. But I have this little animation of this character. I drew this character a while ago, and then like I animated him. I was like, okay, that looks pretty good actually. That's not bad. but then I never actually like did anything with it. So and I've been wanting to kind of make an adventure game, kind of like a what's the word? Like I guess Yume Nikki, kind of like that, because I feel like it's kind of interesting, where it's like you like you have so many, you can have so much in kind of this game world where you explore and talk to people, and there's different kind of what's the word? Different like things you can do in terms of like, you know, maybe you have a goal for this, you know, world to do this. Maybe in that world you can do something else. It's kind of like a freeform kind of game. I think I would like to kind of make something a little more freeform. Let's see here, people questioning stuff. Let me answer here. Stepa says, you still working on the adventure game from last weekend? Not especially. I'm just messing around, more or less. Let's see here. Timp 1261 says, how come you don't use a playlist of music and just keep the same song looping? Because making a playlist of music would mean like actually exporting songs, like actually fleshing them out, and or like, you know, exporting them one at a time and like going over and doing it. And I'm kind of lazy and I don't want to do it all and I like export all these songs just so I can have a playlist and cycle through them from one at a time. And not every song I have exported. You know, most of my songs are just in project format in Sunbox, so it's just easier to just go select one rather than to export it ahead of time. Although that's probably what I should do. Salvakia says, moving from one programming language to another is simple unless that other language is Rust. I don't know. I haven't used Rust in, I started, that's the thing because I started learning, it's easy to learn languages and like pick up languages, but a lot of the time I run into languages and I'm just like, I can't get over this one part because it's this or that. Let's see here. Let's see here. So like Rust, I think it was kind of like complex. It's like lots of safety stuff. I couldn't really get into it. Nim had a lot of like preprocessor like macros and stuff you put on top of a function or a thing, and I'm not a fan of that. Like tagging functions or things. I just didn't like fully understand it. Let's see here. Prince says, says, how do you feel about Game Maker Studio 2? It's fine. It's a game creation program. It doesn't run on Linux. I don't have it. I could like say that it, you know, well, you know what? No, I was gonna be like, you know, for what it provides, you know, it should be free or something. But no, it provides a service. There's no reason to really downplay that or say it needs to be free just because other tools are free. It does provide a full GUI and, you know, room editors and things like that. So those are useful things. So I don't really have anything to say about it. It works fine. Prince says, did you hear about Blender game engine being removed in Blender 2.8? Yep. Says, how long do you plan on streaming today? Just for a couple hours probably. Salvakia says, could also take the Sunbox DLL and make an application which can loop through the different songs. That'll be easier than exporting each song. Making an application that can loop through the different songs, that sounds pretty difficult, especially because I probably want it to loop through an indeterminate amount of time. Like, you know, this is looping fine for now. You know, you could probably loop through this maybe another few minutes before I jump to another song. Says, can I go from GML to Java easily? I would say so, not because they're similar, but because they're programming languages. So there are some similarities between any programming language and any other one. But I know that GML doesn't have some things that are present in Java, like, you know, entire concepts, not just like certain features, but like entire concepts that are just completely missing. But that's my old understanding of Gmail, so probably so. You probably can jump to it fine. Salvakia says, do you think people getting into programming should try Godot before Gmail? Yeah. It doesn't really matter too much. It doesn't really matter too much which one you try first. I would say go with whatever you're more comfortable with and just stick with that rather than jumping from one to the other, because like you might think Godot's more complicated, because it is, but then you might think GML is not simple, as is too simple, which I could kind of understand that, assuming that I understand what GML currently is. Oops, that's wrong thing. So yeah, I wouldn't really say. Alright, so this works. Slovakia finally says, how can you program while answering all these questions? 10 out of 10. Ha! That's a good question, because I'm not programming. I'm answering these questions. I'm not actually doing anything. I'm just like moving my mouse and stuff. Okay, so we have a basic game here. So we're using Raylib and Go. So if you're unfamiliar with Go, it's a pretty straightforward language. There's not a lot of features. That's what I kind of liked about it, is that it's just kind of like just a few features, but you really have to kind of make use of them, and that's what gives you the ability to do kind of complex stuff. Mauricio Fernandez says, if you want to keep using Blender to develop games, you can use Armory 3D. I do. I am aware of Armory 3D. I think it's a great program, a great thing. I think the developer is really working hard on it. But I just don't really have too much need for like super photorealistic graphics, so it's kind of hard to build up like a desire to work with it. Let's see. TD says, press like button, so easy, it takes less than 2 seconds. Thanks. Yes, I don't know if I can actually encourage viewers to press the like button. I think that might be against like YouTube terms of service or something. 92 says, when I see somebody knowledgeable, I just want to pick their brain. Yeah, please feel free to ask questions. I'm happy to do so, to answer. All right, so I'm gonna walk through the program that we have here. Here we're creating the, and oh, in case, I feel like somebody might ask this at some point, but if anyone asks like why I'm moving to, or not moving to, but why I'm using Go, I like the simplicity and stuff, and it being a compiled language, it being quick, but like I actually kind of also just like kind of feeling like John Blow, because he's working on like his like programming language in his game, and it's kind of similar to like Go in terms of the language, where it's like you're dealing with structs and stuff. You don't have classes, you don't have like defined interfaces and things. It's kind of simpler. You print out like what's the player, and it literally, like, I'll show you. That's kind of a cool little thing. Autocomplete, please. There we go. So like you go ahead and say, oh, let me print out the player, and it gives you literally like what the player is composed of, and you can look at it and see, like, that's kind of cool that you can actually see like what an object is composed of. So we have the texture in this first struct, in this first little bit. You got the ASprite, my ASprite file, which represents a file. It has like a list of different things in there. You got the file path, you got the frame width and height, you got the frames of animation themselves. So it's cool. It's like you get to actually see kind of how everything's built up. And then we got the movement and position at the end. So this is the position variable. Yeah. So it's cool. Yeah, I just kind of want to, like, I guess it feels kind of cool to just be a cool kind of like, it feels cool to just kind of work on a lower level and just kind of see how things are comprised and composed, and get a little bit more understanding of how like memory works and things. I don't know. Prince says, did you first teach yourself? Well, let me go back. 92 says, I'm struggling in the coding world. I wish there was something like a Game Maker bootcamp I could actually go to. I'm sure there is. Game Maker is a very popular programming language, game engine. I'm sure that there's like tutoring services and stuff that you can actually go to or utilize to learn how to use Game Maker and stuff. Prince says, did you self-teach yourself programming? Yep. Salvakia says, it's an ECS, spiffy. Kind of, yeah, because structs in Go aren't like, it's not really possible to do like a class system. So you basically, a struct is just composed of things inside the struct. So I'll actually, I guess, talk about this a little bit. Rather than like strictly creating a function or having a class that creates a player, that defines what a player is, you define a struct, which is what the player is. It has a texture, it has a animation basically. It's got a movement vector and a position vector. And we have a function that just creates a new player and gives it to us. So we say, okay, we'll create a new player. create the load in the sprite information, create a texture that loads the sprite image from the image path, which is, let me see if I can grab it here. Hold on. Let's see here. Assets. Okay, so yeah, it's in here. So it grabs the player.png file from here. We create the texture using well, we get the texture from the system, which is basically just a map of a file name to the actual texture itself. That way we can have a little bit of a kind of simple asset resource system where basically we say, oh, we want to get a texture, it tries to pull it from the loaded textures map, and if it doesn't work, then we go ahead and just load the texture and store it in there, and it gives us a little bit of a log when we actually load a texture. So let's actually see that, because it's kind of going by too fast ordinarily. So let's see here. Alright, so let's go ahead and get rid of that. There we go. Let's get rid of that. There we go. I think that might be enough. Yeah. So here we go. When we load the texture, it says here's the map, and we load in the assets gfx player.png, and it gives us the actual texture itself. And if we control click, it actually shows us in VS Code, it shows us the actual texture, which is nice. It's cool but cool. Alright, let's see here. Slovakia, oh wait, Mauricio Fernandez says, 92, you could try Love 2D. The way is a very nice first language, very powerful and simple. Yeah, yeah, Love 2D is nice. Slovakia says, I am a big fan of data-oriented programming and ECS design. Yeah, I have to learn more about data-oriented programming. ECS, entity component system design. It's interesting. Well, I've never used ECS that much, just because most engines are entity, maybe with a little bit of component. Most don't have the system part, so that's something that I haven't really worked too much with. Combat DT says, which is your main game engine? Which do you use? Because I'm, I just do this as a hobby at this point. I can just use whatever I want. So that's why I'm doing this today, because I've been kind of, I want to go back to try using Go a little bit. Me Mistake says, your game looks cool, thank you, even though it's super duper basic. Alex Rosens says, did you carry on working on Pop 64? Nope, I have not worked on Pop 64 since the last time that you saw it on stream. Alrighty, so let's see what we got here. So this is a nice little start. So that's what I was going to mention. Here we have a function that is called, it's in a system package. So it's just a different location here. We have a system directory with a system package and a system Go file. And that's just somewhere to basically collect some stuff like key bindings, so we can actually tie in, keys to actions. This is a little awkward. I mean, it works fine, but like I guess the ideal thing to do would be to like have this be a map of, instead of the keys themselves, be a map of like, or maybe an array of different values or something, so that you can have like key presses or joystick buttons or whatever, because this is just pure key bindings. Maybe we'll just do this simply and have another one for joysticks or something. I have to figure out exactly how I want to do that. Okay, so we're just doing some basic movement and stuff, and that works, and yeah. So we have this character that can move around in all 8 directions. He's got a little animation playing. The animation is this one. We also have some starts of a walking animation and some other directions I pixeled, which look really good, I think. And I think that's kind of why I wanted to do this, Yume Nikki kind of like, or RPG Maker adventure game kind of like game, because the character is so kind of like super simple, but really kind of cool to look at. I think that it would be interesting to kind of navigate a world, a kind of a sparse world with him in it. Mariano Sulagoy says, night. What's up? How's it going? So for today, what we're going to be doing, since we're walking through basically the entire amount of code that we have here, it's working pretty well. It's kind of interesting to see how things are done on a more basic, low level of game development, but it's still not like super complex or hard to understand. Yeah, we're drawing the player sprite using the animations X and Y, the animations frame basically, and yeah, it's nothing really out of the ordinary there. We're moving, okay. So one thing we need to do is get a method of loading in a tiled map, or basically loading in some sort of map, so you can actually like walk around on something and not just walk around in a blank void. How we're going to do that is a good question. I'm probably just going to go with a tiled map and go with that. But there's nothing wrong with not doing that. We could do this another way. What else can we do? Yeah, that's probably a good start. Yeah, everything's going pretty well. Mariano Silva says, "Go." What's that? Go is a game engine. Go is a game language. No, I'm sorry. Go is a programming language, and I'm using it to make a game using Raylib. It's made by Google. It's a programming language. It's kind of like simple C. It's kind of like C, I guess you could say. Like it's kind of basic in that there's not like classes and implementations and subclassing and stuff like that. But like you have interfaces and structs, and that's like your only real kind of objects that hold things that you can modify. But it's pretty powerful, even though there's not like super a ton of stuff in there. This is a note to myself. Basically, the Vector 2 class in Raylib is super duper like, it's kind of basic in that it's just like you can. It's just like numbers. Like there's no vector math in here, which is kind of crazy. I would have thought that like, oh, if you have vectors, 2D vectors, 3D vectors, you gotta have vector math. But no, there's no vector math in here, which is kind of weird. But that's okay. So what we'll do, but that's okay. So what we'll do, at some point I'm gonna make probably a custom vector 2D class. I say class, I mean struct, that basically allows you to do things like, rotate a vector, or change the length of a vector, or normalize it, because those things are kind of important. And they're kind of important because, like, if you notice, he's moving at a certain rate right, and now he's moving at the same rate right and down, which is basically impossible. It means that he's moving faster diagonally than he is orthogonally, so that's kind of a problem. That can be solved by just, using vector math. So that's why I kind of need to make vector math, because, he needs to move at the same speed in all directions. So, yeah, that's what we're going to have to do something about at some point. All right, but this is a good start. So what we're going to do, let's go ahead and try to get a tiled map up and running. That involves starting up tiled and going with that, I think. Mauricio says, the character sprite has evolved nicely. I like it. Thank you. It kind of did start off kind of basic. And I did something I don't usually do, which is I drew this kind of small character and then scaled it up and went with that. So it's like he was kind of this super kind of blocky small thing, and then I scaled him up and made him bigger, and then just kind of like expounded on what he should look like from that point. And that it did kind of work out pretty well, I think. That's pretty good. Say that. Alright, I need to run tiled. Okay, so let's close this. So what we're going to do, we're going to need to do a tiled map. So tiled is basically a tile map editor. You can use it to make tile maps, which is nice. So I'm going to have to do something to actually visualize it in here, and then get it into here, and then actually draw it. So there's two steps, basically. once we have the map made and tiled, we're going to import it into here and examine it. And then we're also going to need to, we're also going to need to, sorry, I'm just like doing something with my desk. We're going to need to get it in here to examine it, and then we're also going to need to draw it. So that's two different kind of sides to the coin. Let's see here. Prince says, did you know how to play any instruments before making music in Sunbox? Yeah, I guess you could say that. I played the drums. I used to play the drums. I started learning to make music in other programs like Reason. I used Reason for a while before this, for a pretty long time, a few years. Yeah, so... But I mean, I wouldn't say that you have to know how to play any instruments before making music in Sunbox or any program. Mariano says at least you need plus and minus vector operators. Yeah, that would be nice. And I don't know if Go. I don't know if Go supports operator overloading. I think it does. I think it might. I'm not sure. Mauricio Fernandez says it moves 1.4142 times faster when it moves diagonally. Yeah, so I got to do something about that. Paul Jones says, I understand that Go is faster than C# or JavaScript. It should be, because it's, well, I don't know about C#, but it should be faster than JavaScript because it's a compiled language. That might be an insane simplification. If so, I apologize if you're offended, because I don't know. Alright, so what we'll do, we'll start off with a very simple tile set here. Let's make it a little bigger. Well, let's go 256 by 256. Alright. The character himself is basically 32 by 32, so we'll use that for a tile, I suppose. Okay, so this is a good start. This is just kind of a basic street I'm kind of making here. Actually, let's we don't need the JSON for this. We're just gonna need the PNG. Okay. Just trying to be consistent with my capitalization here. Alright, so this is a very basic tile set. What else should we have besides this? I guess we would need some sort of crosswalk. Alright, so that should be a good start. Alright. I didn't do it right. Need the JSON. Okay, so this should be a good start. So what we'll do now, let's go back to tiled. We'll make a new map. This will be 32 by 32. Let's see, how big is our screen? 640 by 360. So that's 20 by 15, is it? 360 divided by 32, 11.25. Okay, we'll say 12. Yeah, because you can't really. $360. Yeah, it's just can't quite do it. All right, so we'll go with this. Alright, there we go. So now what we're going to need to do is also get a tile set. Let's see. Mauricio says, I always struggle with level design. I lack imagination for it. I do too, to be honest. I'm not a huge like level design like maven or anything. It's kind of hard to come up with designs for levels and things. But I think the more you do it, the better you get with it. I think that's great. I think that's good. That you like slowly you get better and better. Actually, I feel like the volume might be a little high on the music. But basically, it's something that I think definitely get better with. Says, how many years have you been at game development in general? That's a good question. It's gotta be like 15 years? 12 years? Something like that. It's been a long time. But I mean, not consistently like I have been over the past few years. Have I like been making games and trying to like, get better and stuff like that. Save this. Oh, whoops. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, there's the tile set. Oh, it's 32 by 32. Okay, so let's go actually fix this. Okay, we're gonna make this. Okay, why is this? Oh, okay, we want to do that. All right, there we go. I was wondering, like, why is this not working the way that I think it should be working? Okay, yeah, we're good. All right. Okay, so we define these tile sets. We're good. Good. Okay, now we can actually use this tile set. Alright, we're just gonna fill this. How do you do that? F. That's where I can That's weird. Okay. Well, whatever. Weird, I can't. It seems like the. It's like I can't tell if I'm going crazy. I thought there was heat presses to like rotate tiles. I feel like there are. I just don't know it. Okay. We'll have to pay a little bit more attention here. Let's see. Snapping. Object names. I feel like I've done this before, and it was like, oh yeah, to rotate a tile, just do this. Oh, it's Z? Okay. Yeah, I think my key presses aren't being, like, caught by the... No, there we go. Okay. Okay, never mind. Me mistake says I gotta go. Bye. Okay, nice for you to stop by. Thanks for stopping by and watching the stream, as usual. Always appreciate it. Nah, that's good. Yeah, this is fine. This will be good for a basic grass, I think. This could be a different color though. Let's go with, yeah, let's go with orange. Oh, there's a tool for this, isn't there? There's a tool to like mess stuff up. Let's see. Where is it? Where's the mess up? Is this? No, that's blur. The jumble. There we go. Junior jumble. Let's just kind of mess this up a little bit. A little bit. Just kind of just a little bit more. A little bit less. A little bit. There we go. Kind of push it back a little bit. It's a little much. A little bit more. A little bit. Yeah, there we go. That's pretty good. Looks sufficiently kind of grimy, I think. Oh, Mauricio says, can you make seamless tiles with this program? Meaning, does it aid you somehow? Soko says, yes, you can. It's a setting in view. Yeah. In Sprite, I don't know if there is or not. I know that there's a way to tile the entire like canvas. I don't know about a specific selection though. To like show you just one tile repeated. I'm not sure if there is. Yeah, nice. Looking better and better. Let's see here. Okay. Trying to remember like exactly how sidewalks are shaped. Like, are they squarish? I think, yeah, that's better, I guess. Oops. Yeah, okay. So then when we take this and rotate it, we just need a corner piece. But we also need, let's see here, we need that corner piece, but we also would need yeah, we just need that corner piece. Hold on. I'm just kind of walking through what this is looking like and how it's shaping up and what's kind of necessary. Let's see. This could be better. We don't need this. We could replace it with that though. That's a little dark. Let's see, we need something that's a little bit less, maybe just like that. Probably shouldn't be afraid to kind of push the palettes a little bit more and have a more unified palette. Maybe light blue somewhere in there. That might be a little much. Maybe instead of this dark gray, maybe a bluish color. It's a little hard to square that away. Yeah, I think I might need to kind of might have to try a different approach. 9592 says, would you ever consider drawing sprites for cash for us indies out here? Yeah, sure. I would consider it. Sure thing. Okay, that's what I need to do. I was like trying to figure out exactly how I kind of would get this to work. This needs to basically start with some tile, some of these are some sidewalk chunks. Sidewalk chunks, that's the word. And we need sidewalk chunks. There we go. So that actually does work. The only thing is, I guess it would be on the corner more so. So I have to decide exactly how to do that. All right, we'll just leave that alone for now. This is fine. This is mainly just for testing anyway. It doesn't have to be like super duper like awesome, although it does look pretty good. It does look better and better, like somewhere you would kind of want to look around. Cool. Mauricio Fernandez says around a corner should be rounder in that corner tile so it looks more authentic. Yeah, I need some corners specifically for the sidewalk. It doesn't look quite right. But yeah, that's not bad nonetheless. I think we could probably make do with maybe a lighter color for the street. I don't know, my mouse is doing that thing where I can't scroll in and out for whatever reason. Is it just grimy in there? I don't know. Okay, there we go. I think it's just grimy. I think it's just grimy. All right, I think we could go for maybe a lighter. Ugh. Yeah, that's a little better. And the reason for that is because I want I think I want the off area, like any alleyways, to be a darker color. Which means we can replace this with something like that. Replace this with something like that. It loses some of the appeal, but that's fine. Yeah, that's kind of cool. It's subdued. It's not like it's not bad. It's not bad. This red could be darker, I think now. Maybe yeah, darker purple. This could be maybe a darker red. Nah, maybe brighter to make it stand out more. That's way too bright. That's fine, I guess. Or actually, I could probably do something like this. Not bad. That's not bad. But that's not great either. I think that because it's now it looks kind of like it's a physical thing. It needs to be just, yeah, that's fine. I think what I will do though is maybe something like this. Oh man, I could totally like make this look more grimy by messing with the paint a little bit. I think I'm gonna leave it alone. All right, so what I'll probably do is just kind of bridge these because it's kind of awkward the way it is. Cut out that middle section because it just wasn't really adding anything. Because I'm gonna use them. I'm gonna use both sides of the tiles at all times anyway, so there's no reason to split it up further. Let's see. Hopefully, does this still tile okay? It does. Okay, we're good. We good. Oh, there we go. It's a little better. All right. So this is a nice little example tile set. This probably should be more like, yeah, probably should have something actually up there. So yeah, what I might do is just replace. Why is that placing when I'm not there? This is fine for now. So what I'm probably gonna do is at some point manage to kind of improve the buildings a little bit, kind of work on some other tiles and things. It's not bad so far. Kind of a generic city tile set. What we'll do though is test out actually importing this. So how we're gonna do that is we have the Go. Hold on, let me just pop that out. So yeah, we have the Go like community at our disposal. So like just Golang tiled importer, and we should get. Oops, we should get an importer from GitHub. We'll search on GitHub because I know that there's some on GitHub already. Golang tiled importer. I guess actually let's go tiled importer. Okay, so yeah, we have several tiled importers for Godot, but also that's weird. I know that we have there are Go tiled importers. I'm not sure why I can't see them here. Go tiled. Let's try this again. Okay. Go tiled. There you go. A Go library that reads tiled TMX files. Go classes to load and render tiled maps. Let's see. Does this actually load or? Go SDL. Okay, so he uses SDL for rendering. So we'll do the rendering ourselves because we are using Raylib. So what we'll do is we'll look up a couple of these. Because yeah, there's a few of these. Let's see here. Tiled.read to read a tiled map. I think there was one that I kind of liked specifically, but I don't quite remember which one it was. The colors, we got images, layers, maps. I don't think this has objects. I think this is not a full, like, this doesn't have everything that you would need. Okay, so this works. Let's see here. Ellipse, polygon. This might have everything actually. Points, XML. Points attribute. Yeah, this might actually like have basically everything you would need to load a tiled map in effectively. So we might start with this one because this one might work pretty well. Okay, map tiling. Okay, this isn't for tiled. This is just. Yeah, tiling. Okay, never mind. And this is just a repository. Okay, no, here we go. Okay. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll probably go with this one because it seems like this is a pretty full-featured library. And the reason why I'm kind of doing this on stream is because the actual process by which you pull this in is just this, where you just grab the package itself directly. So we'll just go over here to VS Code. We'll say we want to get Go tiled from this thing, and now we have the ability to use it in our game. So we'll make this a separate thing for map loading. So we'll call it map.go. And we'll, let's see here. So what we want to do is load it in the map and then update and draw it. So well, I guess we'll kind of encapsulate this later, because I'm not sure exactly how it works just yet. So we'll just kind of approach this firstly to just kind of get it loading, and then we'll kind of approach it later to like do whatever's necessary. So we want to get the map. We'll call this the tile map, and we want to use this, which is tile.load from file. And we'll look at assets, GFX, what's it called? Testmap.tmx. Okay, so that should basically load it in multiple value tile.load from file in single value context. Oh, and then it also returns an error. Okay, so we'll ignore the error just because we don't actually need to do anything with it, and we want to basically see if it worked correctly. So we'll print out the tile map. All right, so that should be enough to kind of get us going here. Looks like it might have loaded correctly. Maybe. Let's see here. So we have the tile itself. Load from reader. So it creates a map struct itself. Okay. So we have the version. We got the directory. We got the orientation. We got the render order. We got the width. We got the height. We got the tile width, tile height. Okay. So the layer is here, I guess. And then we have tile sets, layers, and then object groups, I guess, are the last three. And this is, I guess, a list of properties. Okay. So that might be pretty much what we need. Let's go ahead and try actually looping through and kind of seeing what's on the map. Let's see if we can print out the layers and see what it's given us. So it's got something in there. This is kind of interesting because layers is a list of pointers to layers. Oh, okay, that's why you can't actually print them out, because it's a pointer. All right, so each layer has a link to the map itself, and it's also got the name, the opacity, it's got some, and then we got the tiles. This is the attribute you'd like to use, not data. Tile entry at XY is obtained using L.decoded tiles. Okay, so this might be pretty simple at this stage. I guess we probably will want a function to basically draw the tiles. So let's go ahead and loop through and kind of get a little bit more information about this. So let's say we just want the first tile here. Okay, so we got a list. Okay, so you have the tile, that's the map, right? It's the map. Then you got the name of it. Opacity, visible. Okay, so I'm just looking at this stuff here. We got the offsets, we got the property list, and then we got the tiles list. Okay, so this is basically what we're going to loop through and actually draw. Okay, so this is pretty straightforward. So we're going to make a function do this, and we're just going to call it and go from in there. So we'll put it in here just to make things simple. We'll call draw tile map, and this takes a tile map. Okay. So we say for layer, or maybe like blank layer. Shoot. In tile map dot layers, and then for tile blank tile and tile map dot or layer dot. Oh, I guess I have this actually wrong. It should be tile blank. What did I do wrong? Let's see. Syntax error. Mariano Sulugoy says, "This looks very interesting. Do you have to make your own main loop and collision detection like Phaser?" Hold on. There's a lot here. Gotta turn on the fan. Okay. Yeah, basically, well, collision detection, yeah. It shouldn't be too difficult just because, you know, rectangles are going to be fine for collision detection. Main loop, no, not quite, because you basically have that by default with Raylib. You just say, you know, if it shouldn't close, you can set the target FPS and it kind of handles things for you. So, like, the only things that you don't have to really do a main loop yourself, where you're, like, pulling for inputs and like, doing like frame FPS stuff. It's just kind of like it does that stuff for you. So that's nice. So we need to basically loop through the layers and draw each tile, which isn't too difficult. We just need to basically know how for loops work and go. I've forgotten. Let's see. And that's the interesting thing that I was kind of going to touch on before is like this. Like a for loop is also kind of like a while. Like you can use either one. Or for loops can serve both purposes and go, whereas just if basically for should something be Boolean, then it's just gonna loop. It's just that's a while. So basically, while the window shouldn't close, this is our game loop here, and then we close the window at the end. So what we're gonna do here, let's take a look at this documentation here. For I is less than or equal to 3. Okay, so. Alright, so I need to look over looping through arrays, I guess. Or collections, I guess is the correct term. Range, here we go. Do I have to use range? What's the range? Oh, I do have to use range. Oh, okay. I was wondering, like, why isn't this working? Okay. Layer declared in that. Okay, so I think the first layer. The first, here we go. Okay, now it's working. So the first argument is going to be the index, which we don't really care about. We just care about the actual layer itself because we're looping through each tile. Layer dot tiles. Now we can just say, let's for example print out the tile itself. And now we don't need to do this. We're going to draw it. So we're going to say draw tile map. And we pass the map itself. And that's about it. It doesn't like that. Because it's a pointer. Okay, so we need to pass the actual... Because this returns a pointer. Okay, so we need to pass... It needs to expect that it's going to be a pointer here. Alright, I think that should just about do it. Alright, so now we have a whole bunch of tiles. These are little bits of information about the tile itself. Let's see here. We got the ID. We got the tile set, which is a pointer to the tile set. And then we have some variables about whether it should flip and stuff. So that's about it. So I guess the only thing we really need to do, because it looks like none of these are nil tiles. All these tiles exist, yeah. So the only thing we really need to do is to be able to transform this ID into some information about the tile, like where it is on the tile sheet itself. Now the tile set contains information here. So we have the tile points to the tile set. Tiles. Oh. Tile set. Okay. Tiles in tile set. Okay. Image. Okay. Okay. I think I get what I need to do. I need to basically figure out. Oh wait. Oh yeah, now I remember. Yeah, this wasn't a lot of fun. Okay, let's see. Now I remember doing this before, and it was a pain. Let's see if there's a better way to do it. Decode layer base S64. Decode tiles. It returns a layer. Okay, so I think these are things that are automatically called when we actually go to create the map. But yeah, basically, as I recall, this was like, it's not super. Oh wait, tile GID2 tile. So it returns a tile, the tile itself. It'd be nice if we could return like the well, this is kind of useful. Let's see here. Oh, so that's I. Yeah. So I'll kind of. I'm sure you if you stick around, you'll see why I'm like balking at actually doing this. But basically, it seems like it's going to be a little bit of a pain. So what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and just get started with this. So we're going to go ahead and grab the texture that we're going to need. Oh wait, Mariano Sulugoy says you're going to need the tiles index and also map width to get X and Y coordinate. Yeah. Sokos says good luck and have fun. Coding and spriting gotta go. Okay, thanks for stopping by, Sokos. And Harry Sarso says, what are you making? Like a super low level kind of like beginning to a video game. We're doing this kind of doing everything in code basically, except for the actual like creating the tiles and things. But like the actual process, we're doing stuff in code. So it's a little bit awkward, but we'll see. It's fun. It's fun to mess around and think on about math, about like basic math. All right, so we got the map. We need to load the image firstly. So let's go ahead and figure out which images we're going to need. We need to basically determine which the map has. Yeah, the map itself doesn't have any information about the tile sets necessary on the layers rather, but we can take out each tile set to determine which images are necessary. Although those are embedded only. If the tile set is stored in an external TXX file, this attribute refers to that file. Same structure. The name of the tile set. The maximum width. Okay. Offset in pixels. Embedded image. But that's the thing. I'm not sure because I'm not sure if I don't have an embedded image. So I think I have to get the URL to the image itself. That tile. Yeah. Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. Let's get a little bit more information about the. Well, you know what? Let's just do this kind of dumbly first, and then we'll kind of like expand this out as necessary as we go. So we'll just assume that the image is the one that we made because there's only one. You know, later on when we can refer to multiple tile sets within the same map, or the map can refer to different tile sets. That's fine. Let's just go ahead and just get one. Well, let me see. Mariano says every tile can use a different tile set. That's why it's stored on the tile. Yeah, that makes sense. Mariano Sulugoy says, I don't know why I said your name again. It's okay to get it from the first tile as long as you make sure you don't have more than one tile set on your map. Yeah. I feel like it's okay for now. We'll just try this. So image, I guess we'll say tile map. Image equals tile map dot layers 0 dot tiles 0 dot tile set dot image. And then let's go ahead and print out that tile map image. I'm just doing this just to kind of give myself something to work with here because I need to see. Yeah, okay, so the image specifically is pointing to... Yeah, that's only if the image is embedded, which it's not, so that makes it a little more difficult. Because the image, now we have to figure out exactly where the image is found then. So where's the image? The embedded image, but I'm not trying to look for the embedded image. Tile set, tile height, tile width, spacing, margin, tile count. No. Terrain. No. Tile set, tile. No, no, no. I think I'm on the right track. I just have to basically determine where can I find the actual URL to the tile set. So we have a tile set. Oh, maybe the source is just the okay, let me try that. I don't know why I'm making this more complex. Let's just try printing out the tile set itself. Main tile set.tsx. No, that's not it. It's not the image then. Am I mistaken? Okay, so the TMX points to the tile set, main tile set.tsx. Yeah, image. Here we go. And then we got the source itself. Okay, so this is what we're looking for then. All right, so let's see if we can figure this out. Let's try this. So we have the tile set. We want to point to the. This is this, right? So we have a source. Let's try that source. Main tile set.tsx. Shouldn't the source point here? Or am I mistaken? The name of this tile set. No, wait. If this tile set is stored in an external TSX file, this attribute refers to that file. That TSX file has the same structure as the tile set element described here. This is the, okay. Well, then yeah, I don't think I need to. Okay. What I might do is just for now, just go with the image itself, and then we can change. Because I mean, at some point I can. Oh wait. Oh wait, I could. Let me see. If I debug it, can I see the actual variables? Alright, that might be worth a try. Let's try this. Okay, here we go. So now I can actually visually see this. Close that, close this. So, we just need to find at what. Oh, what? It only goes one. It only goes one layer down. What the heck? Dude, what the heck? Why? Okay, that's weird. Okay, it just for whatever reason it just goes like one level in. Let's see here. Yeah, it's weird. Okay. So what we'll do, because yeah, debug for whatever reason just goes like one level down instead of the entire way. Let's stop. Tile map image. So somewhere in here is the name of the image that we're using to draw the tiles. But for some reason it's not showing here. That's correct. Yeah, it should be image. let's try this. ID, source, name. With, is it loading this stuff? Maybe it's not loading this stuff because it seems like it definitely should have should have this stuff in here, but maybe it's not. Caterpickle says, "What's up? What's up, Caterpickle?" Mariano Sulgoy says, "Maybe image is already loaded as a texture." No, well, no. I mean, there's nowhere in here. What type is it? Yeah, no, it's not. It doesn't seem to be in here because it seems like it should have some data apart from this. Like it should have the ID, it should have the source, and then it should have the name, it should have the tile width and height, the spacing. I mean, that stuff should be in here, but for whatever reason, nothing's in here. So I'm thinking that maybe it's not really loading everything for whatever reason. I might have to use a different parser. I thought I used one that worked pretty well. I thought this one was pretty close to what we needed, but maybe it's not. Let's see. Or actually, let me take a look at the... There we go. It doesn't really say anything about parsing. Yeah, just like, there you go. It is parsed. So let's see here. Are there any examples? Yeah, this is for embedded elements. Okay. Yeah, this is like super complex. Like more complex than it really needs to be. What we'll do instead, there might be a better way to do this. Oh wait, how did it actually get it the image? Tile.tileset.image.source. Yeah, but image is null on mine. Yeah, okay. So I think maybe this was just like not working with non-embedded images, which doesn't really make sense because I mean, you want embedded images, feels like. So what we'll do, what we might end up doing, let's just assume that the image for now, Marion Sulugoy says, wait, the library has a renderer. Yeah, I saw that, but the renderer is like... Maybe I will. Maybe I can use this. Let's see. Okay. What we might do. I can't tell if I'm reinventing the wheel when it comes to doing this or not. Because yeah, it does seem like it is doing, like, we can use it, but I feel like I don't know if I'll be able to use it directly or not. Yeah, I'm not sure if we can use this because it feels like it has some like useful stuff, but it's not a direct kind of tie to how we do things with Raylib. So we'll have to write our own renderer, which is kind of weird. So here's what I'm gonna do. Because I mean, ideally, you know, I guess what I would like to kind of see. Actually, let's check this one out again. Is basically something that allows you to read in tiled maps, but then also kind of convert some information to make it a little easier to directly like tie it to a given framework like SDL or Raylib or whatever. So you can say like, oh, okay, you know, just now give me the X and Y positions on the tile map, on the image itself. Like that would be a nice little thing. Okay, this might work a little bit better, maybe. Let's see, source. Although these are just structs and it just decodes. Okay, so there's no helper functions or anything to kind of, and the ellipse is just an empty struct. So they haven't implemented the ellipse yet. Okay, that's fine. Alright, so what we'll do is, oh wait, what am I thinking? I did this before. I don't know why I'm not thinking. I did this entire thing before. Okay, and that's the TMX reader I used before. Yeah, that's not the one I have now. Yeah, let's see. My goodness. Oh, I had to like reverse it or something, didn't I? Oh my goodness. Oh, well, I was doing something kind of a little more complex than I needed to here. And this was like kind of like an engine in there too. Yeah, this was kind of awkward. Yeah, okay. But this, I might be able to use this nonetheless. Let me see. Let's go back up here. TMX reader. Okay, let's try that. That's weird. I can't find that one. That's weird. Alright, well. Parse the map files created by the TMX map. Let's see if it properly. Okay. I guess it doesn't matter too much which one we use because we really don't need much apart from just the tiles themselves for now. So what we'll do, let's just keep moving because I spent literally like 30 minutes just sitting here trying to find like the right thing, and there's no reason to really do it anymore. So we'll just say the tile map image for now is just the one that we have. So we're gonna go with assets, get texture. Okay. Okay, so now we have the image itself. Right? Yeah, okay, we have the image. Or, oh, I guess maybe it didn't load. Hold on. So it seems like at some point it didn't quite load. Yeah, I don't think it loaded correctly. Let's see here. Yeah, tileset.png. Image cannot be loaded. Okay, so let's try this again because I think. Oh, okay, I get it. It's got to be assets, gfx, tileset.png. There we go. Okay, now we got the correct tileset. Okay. Mariano Sugoi says, let me ask, why don't you want to use the built-in renderer to have control over the render order? The built-in renderer is not going to use Raylib, so I don't, like, I need to kind of look into it a little bit more to see exactly how it works and what it does, because it doesn't use the framework I'm using, so I would have to basically, like, create my own renderable, renderer, I think, but I'm just not sure exactly what is necessary to use it, and if I need to use it at the moment. So basically I'm trying to not to like have to do too much research on screen. I'm trying to, like, you know, get things up and going as I go along. So let's see here. This is, yeah, okay. So let's go ahead and see now. Let's exactly take a look at this tile. That's right. Okay, so we have the tile itself. We got the ID. So we need a means to turn the ID from a tile into something that tells us where the tile is in the tile set. Okay, let's make a function for that. So now what we need to do, actually I guess we just need the tile itself. Oh, it needs to be passed directly. Or, wait, no. What's the issue? Used as value. Oh, okay. It's not putting it in, so we'll just do that. Alright. And this one can't refer to unexported name. There we go. Alright, so we're getting slowly there. Alright, so we have the tile ID, so we just need to now look into the tile set and determine. Oh, okay, now I know what I need to do. Now I know what we need to do here. Tile count, we got the tile width, okay, tile height, no, we need the, Oh man, where is it? We need to basically know. Or maybe this is it. Maybe it's tile width. Let's see. This might tell us exactly. Nope. Yeah, it's not loading the data. I feel like I'm almost positive it's just not loading the data. The tile set just like points to nothing almost. Yeah, I feel like it's not pointing to. It's not. I feel like this is supposed to be doing something that it's not doing. But I can't tell if I'm being insane or not. on the flip side, let's see here. So the tile is what we need to grab because we're looping through the layers. Let's see. Maybe the layers is what we need. The layer, we got the tile sets. Is that what I've been looking at? Yes. Okay, so we have the tile sets. We don't need that. We have the layers themselves. Orientation, render order, width, height. Tile width, tile height. I guess we don't really need to know how big. I guess we can do it like this. Wait. Okay. Got the tile width. Okay. So it's here. Okay, I'm on the right track there. What I need to do now, though, is I need to know what's the width and height of the source image. Is that the map itself? Does that have the 256 by 256? What's saying 256 by 256? Oh, that's the source image. Okay. Oh wait, of course. I just said okay. So the image itself is right there. Okay. There we go. So the image itself has its own width and height. So we have the image height itself. We got the map. Okay. So we'll just pass it instead of the width and height of the tile itself, we'll pass the map and the tile map image. Because this should basically tell us all we need to know. I guess we don't really need the tile itself. I'm being like super stupid here. Bakari says, you always make astounding music, very unique style. Big ups. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm kind of struggling because I'm like trying to like abstract this out, and I really don't need to just yet. I guess that's what I am kind of like. Yeah, there's no reason to do this. I'm making it more difficult for myself. But I have the idea. That's the most important thing. So basically, what we need to do is get the ID. So we'll just do this like this. ID equals tile.id. We'll just do that to make it a little easier on ourselves. And then we'll say, because they should be numbers like 9 or whatever. And I think what's happening is, it says that because it's like, this is tile 0, this is tile 1, this is tile 2, etc. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, you know, like that. So it's just going down and stepping down the list. So what we're going to do, we're going to say ID equals tile.id. And then we say raylib.drawTexturePro. Source rec is you should draw it to the screen texture. And then we have the source rect. And then we have the destination rect. And then we got the vector, vector 2. Then we got rotation, and then we got 10. Alright, so this should be a good start. So basic, wait. Alright, so this should basically get us drawing things. So this is going to be the source rectangle. So this is the X and Y, and then we got the width and height. So the width and height is going to be the tile map dot tile width. It doesn't like that because it's not int 32. Okay, so it needs to be int. Convert them. Alright. Alright, so this is the source here. This is the destination. So we know that the width is going to be, oh, we'll just do it like this. raylib.texture2d. Alright, I'm getting closer and closer. We don't need this anymore. We can just use tile W here, because it's going to be the same width from the source texture as well as the destination texture. So we'll just do it like this. Tile declared, used. Yeah, is this actually going to draw something? I feel like it might be drawing something. Hold on. Let's confirm. Draw tile map. We'll do that after the player draws so we can actually see it if it's drawing something. Okay, so it is drawing something. It's just a black square though. It's just a black square. So it's drawing, oh, the screen texture. Yeah, no, we don't want to draw the screen texture. We want to draw the tile map. Oh, then why did I? Oh, okay. No, yeah. Why did I ask for the screen texture? It's weird. Why did I ask for the screen texture? I don't remember. I remember doing that. I don't remember why though. It's weird. All right, I think that might be good. Let's see. Yo, we got a tile. All right. At this point, I think we're almost there. I was waffling for so long, but I think I actually am pretty close. We got the ID, and that tells us, as far as I know, like which tile to draw. So we just have to basically point to these. So the ID is the tile ID, and which one to draw is going to be based on that. So let's do some math here. So if we want to draw the 9th tile, it's going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is going to be the 9th one. So it's going to, it increases over an X. So we'll say tile X equals 0, tile Y equals 0. We say for ID is greater than 0, we'll say temp ID equals ID. For temp ID is greater than 0, temp ID minus equal 1, tile X plus equal W. Alright, this is like, I'm getting it now. I think I'm getting it. Okay, so now if we print out, not the tile, but rather tile X, it should be, actually let's print out the tile, let's print out the ID, well, yeah, let's print out the ID. Yo, wait, hold on. Mariano Sulugoy says X equals ID mod tileset image columns. Yo. Columns. The number of tile columns in the tile set. For image columns, tile set is editable. The number of tile columns in the tile set. The number of tiles in this tile set. X equals ID mod tile set image columns. Y equals int32 ID divided by tile set image columns. Thank you. Because I would have been, yeah, this is not the right way to do this. Alright, let's see. So you're saying that tile X equals ID and then modulate tile map, or I guess layer dot or wait, map tile map dot sets. Oh, but I don't know if, yeah, that's a mod operator. Thank you, Mariano Sulugoy. That's correct, I believe. But that's the problem though. This never actually, it doesn't load the tile set. I'm pretty sure it's not loading the tile set data. That's why I can't even do that. Like if I just do that, oh wait, this won't. That won't work. Hold on. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have any data in here, so I can't actually look directly at the tile set. That sucks. I actually might have to do something to resolve this, because like I need the tile set data. I'm pretty sure if I want to do this correctly. So I'm not gonna even do this. I'm gonna go with a different tile importer that properly like works. It seems like for whatever reason it's not working, or maybe something changed, or I don't know. But it definitely should be loading in the tile set, the tiles correctly. Alright, this one looks pretty simple. This doesn't have ellipses, I think. Does that not have ellipse? Nah, does it have objects? I know I'm gonna need object. It does have object groups, which are composed of objects. Alright, this might work. Mariano says, for now, say columns equals texture width divided by tile width. Yeah, that's right. That makes more sense. Rather than fishing around for more tiled importers, let's just try to get going with what we have. All right, let's see. Okay, tile X. Whoops. Tile X is ID mod tile. Wait. Image dot width divided by tile map dot tile width. It doesn't like that because it is a, yeah, it's not in 32. So width is in 32, tile W is in 32. Wait. What's the, you can't do modulo between U and 32. Oh, okay. Alright, so that does work. Alright, so we'll do something like this. Alright, so that does work. Wait. And then y equals int32 ID divided by So 9, it says is 1 over and 1 down. I think that's right. Let's see. 1 over, 1 down, yeah. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 10 should be 2 over and 1 down. Because I'm pretty sure I used that one. Alright, I can't find it. Whatever. I think that we're going to assume that this actually is correct. So we'll just do this. Tile X, tile Y. I think that should be working correctly. It's going to be hard to tell though. Salvakia says, does Go have undefined behavior? That's a good question. I'm not sure. Not sure what that is. Do you mean like, does it do things that you didn't define, or what do you mean? Now we just need to actually position the tiles, which shouldn't be hard as long as we actually have information about the tile, but it looks like we might not. Let's see, so the layer has a list of tiles. Tile entry at XY is obtained using L.decoded tiles. Tiles. What is, what? Let's see. Where is it saying this exists? Mariano says tile X times tile Y, tile W. Nah, this tile X and Y represents the source, the position on the source image. So that's good. Like I think it'll, yeah. Like basically this should be working correctly, but it's not actually like, we're not sure where to actually draw them on the map itself. We have a list of properties. We have offsets. A layer is a map layer. I'm not sure what this is referring to. L.decoded tiles? L? let's go back to the map, I guess. Yeah, I genuinely don't know what it's talking about. L.decoded tiles. Yeah, this is strange. Okay. So what I'll do is, because yeah, it seems like it's straight up just missing a chunk of data for whatever reason. Like the layer just does not have data in it unless. Yeah, no, I don't think that you're supposed to touch the data itself, but it doesn't really have. Yeah, tiles is just a list of tiles. It's not actually an X and Y. Get the ID. This is weird. Okay. You got the layer, but there's just no way to get the information. Oh. Oh, Mariano says, I meant tile X and Y are coordinates, 2, 1. You have to multiply them to get the source rect to render it. Thank you, you're right. We still have to actually position these, though. Let's just do this real quick to see if it's working. I'm just trying to go there. I think this is correct. This needs to be rotated, but yeah, and then this, and then it's just street until you get there. Yeah, so I think it's working correctly. It's just we need to actually rotate tiles, and we need to get their location. I'm not sure why, but for whatever reason, it's just not there. This tiled reader just doesn't seem to actually have information about the tile map layer, which is weird, because I know that must be in there. I mean, how else would you use a tile map without knowing where the tiles are in space? My only guess is that if it goes in sequence, then you can loop through the list of tiles and basically just use a. Wait a second. Mariano Sulugoy says if you use the index on the second for loop, you can get the map coordinate the same way you did with the tile set source. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, that's the only kind of thing I could come up with, tile IDX. And then once you have that, we'll rename this source. Yeah, once we have the tile index, now we can actually use, I guess, a modulo. Mariano says, you loaded the tile map from file. Maybe you have to load the tile set from file 2 to get its data? Nah, I don't think there's any way to do that with, maybe. Let me see. I don't think there's a way to load the tile set. Yeah, it's only loading from file or reader, and loading from file just passes the data into loading from reader. Alright, so what we'll do, since we have the index at this point, Uh, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. So it goes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then at a certain point it crosses this. So that would be the width of the map divided by the number of tiles, right? So 0, 1, yeah, and then it just kicks over. So I guess dest x equals tile index modulo layer dot width. No wait, layer dot. Let's see here. That's it. Map dot tile map dot width. Let's see here. So we got the index divided by our modulo. So map dot width. Y would be tile index would be so much easier if they just gave us the data that we needed. Let's see. Mismatched types. Int. Oh, okay. I think that might be it. I think it might be usable now. Okay. So we have the positions. Integer divided by 0. Runtime error. Panic runtime error. Where? The width divided by tile W? Okay, wait a second. Let's see. Tile index. Oh, is it because it's 0 divided by, or is it divided by 0 on the other side of the coin? Let's see. Because the tile index will sometimes be 0. That's, I think it should be fine to divide 0 by something, not just not divided by 0. The tile map that width should be greater than 0, isn't it? We know that tile width, tile W should be not 0. Where are we going wrong? 20. Okay. $32. Okay, that's right. Is it because I thought that it was integer divide by 0? I thought it was just, it's okay to, okay, well, that's strange. I'm gonna test this real quick, because I am like positive it's fine to do a divided by, a 0 divide by. Yeah, okay, division by 0. Yeah, okay. It's okay to do a divide, a 0 divide by, so I'm not sure where this is crashing. It's crashing right here. Let's replace some of this with some variables and see where along the lines it's exactly going wrong. What? Oh, because this is sub... Oh, I see. Okay. Right. Okay, I got it. So it's because this divided by this is 0. Okay. And then it gets... Okay, right. So the width is 20. Maybe I don't need to divide it. And I guess we just need to multiply that by tile W and tile H. Maybe that's close. That's actually really close. That's actually correct. Oh, that's actually, oh my goodness. We did it. I am so surprised. We did it. This is actually correct. It just needs the tiles just aren't rotated. I can't believe it. We just have to rotate them at this point. Huh. Huh. That's pretty crazy. Alright, well that's actually working. Temp1261 says all that to load a tile map. Yep, all that just to load a tile map. But it's working, my goodness. Alright, so like this could be way better. We can improve on this. Because yeah, basically we can simplify this. I mean, you can say all that just to load a tile map. It's not that much there. Like this is pretty basic. We're just getting the texture here. This is like the only real thing where, like, I spent like an hour on this. I could have done this, like, if I was familiar with the language and familiar with how I do this, you could do this in, you know, 5 minutes. It's not very hard. It's not very much to it. Even the math isn't that hard. The only things I really got tripped up on was getting a tiled loader that has the data I need, which I still don't have. Because ideally I wouldn't have to deal with all this other, you know, math and stuff. It would just give me the numbers directly. But yeah, like I just, this could be done better, but like this isn't bad. This isn't bad at all for loading a tile map. Yeah. And then other things shouldn't be quite as difficult when it comes to like, oh, making a object, you know, and having this represent the player. Actually, let's go ahead and turn on snapping here. Like if we wanted the player to spawn there, or we wanted an object to be there, or whatever, it shouldn't be that hard to get that kind of stuff to work. Let's see here. We got the name, we got the type. I'm wondering how I would actually like a property. Okay. Just looking over the options basically here. I'm just thinking. I'm just like sitting here thinking like, how about this? Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this was a lot of work to get a tile map to load, and it still didn't load correctly. We still have to actually, you know, rotate the stuff. But I mean, like, that's pretty cool. Like, that's nonetheless, that's pretty cool. You could say, oh, well, if you used, you know, this engine or that engine, you would have had it done in, you know, much less time. That's true. But I think that, like, you know, you can't necessarily just take that and run with that only, because there's a lot more to, you know, games and being good with game development than just, oh, you know, this engine would have been faster. It's like, yeah, it probably would have been faster than that other engine, but I don't use that other engine, and I would have to learn to use that other engine just like I learned to use this engine. So it's like, don't get too tripped up on like, oh, it seemed hard. It's like, well, it's gonna be hard in whatever engine you use. It's gonna be really difficult. That's life. That's life in game development. You're learning. This is cool though. This is really cool, and I like how it's kind of feeling. I want to kind of develop this a little bit more to feel more like a city, more grimy, and like I have to figure out like what exactly I want this game to be about and what this character is supposed to be doing here. This isn't bad at all. I'm liking it, man. I'm just like I'm hyped now. I'm like, I wanna like I like, this is cool. Like, even though it's super simple, it's super basic. You know, it would have been faster to use another engine. I feel like you could get good with this and get really like real quick. And you only need to really do this once. Like, once you get it right once, you can just go ahead and copy and paste that with you can copy and paste that with other games and stuff. It's not like you have to do this every single game. Mariano Sulugoy says, I'm back. Great, you almost have it. Yep. All that remains is rotation and flipping. Yeah, exactly. All I gotta do is just rotate these tiles around, which I think there is data that says whether a tile needs to be rotated or not. Mauricio says the learning experience is worth it. I think so. I think that, like, and like I said, you won't have to do this every time. I won't have to do this every time. Once I get this working once, and ideally with a tile imported that has the data, where I won't have to like do this math in here, and assume that we have this tile set, then we should be good to go. And this will probably be a little bit shorter too. Mauricio says this is how old timers used to do games with an assembly language. Exactly. Like, you know, this, you know, using engines and stuff, that's new school stuff. That's cool. That's fine. Old school, you know, game developers used to do everything with code, and they didn't have this. They didn't have this. They didn't have tiled. They didn't have something that they can use to like visualize their scene and place their tiles like this. They had to like do it, you know, in a notepad or something, like where they were just entering like numbers, I imagine, or they built their, I guess they built their level editors. Mariano says the tile data that you're iterating inside the layer says if it's rotated and flipped. Yeah. Let's see here. Actually, I guess the tile itself says whether it's rotated or flipped. Yeah, horizontal flip, vertical flip, diagonal flip. Okay, I'm not sure if, alright, I'm not sure if I'll need diagonal flip. It'd be nice if there was an easier way to flip these, to flip. We'll do this though, we'll make a, because I think this is the source. Yeah, source right. So this will be the source right. If tile dest x dot, or I'm sorry, if tile dot horizontal flip source dot x. Not sure if I can do this. Let me see. I kind of feel like that worked. I feel like that worked like a little bit. I can't tell. I feel like it worked for some. Yeah, okay, so it worked for, I think, this area. Or no. Hold on, maybe I'm looking at the wrong tiles. Let's see. Okay, no, never mind. I flipped it around wrong. This is supposed to be. This isn't supposed to be this. This is supposed to be this, but rotated. Okay. So if horizontal flip, then source.x plus equal. Let's see here. Can I just do width maybe like that? With -1. Yeah. Okay, that's better. Better. But still no rotations. So how do we do that? Is that diagonal flip? Mauricio says, continue having a good time with this. I gotta go. Thanks for the stream. No problem. Thanks for coming through. Is that both the width and the height or no? Okay, that feels a little bit right. I guess if it's like that, then yeah, I need to rotate something else. Or no, diagonal flip doesn't control rotation. Then where do I know if it's rotated or not? Let's see. Mariano says, I think you have to flip the destination, not the source. I think I'm right with the flipping, because the these are correctly aligned, and this is correct. It's just these that are rotated are incorrect. This is incorrect. These are incorrect. Yeah, the rotated parts are wrong, but like I think the rest of it's fine. Yeah. So let's go ahead and try if we have the diagonal flip and working. I'm sorry, vertical and horizontal flip. We just need to know if it needs to be rotated. So I'm not sure if there's anything in there that tells us that though. Yeah, I don't think there is. Tiles, spacing, columns, map dot. Orientation, no. Palette. Version width. Diagonal flip will cause a 90-degree rotation. Oh, okay. Alright, so I guess I only need to... okay. Oh, does this say that anywhere? No, it just says diagonal. Okay, well, let's try this. See, this is gonna, it's probably, yeah, it needs to be, if it's gonna be 90 degrees, then it needs to be math, pi, let's try that, I guess divided by 2, or is it degrees? Oh, maybe it's in degrees. Let me see. Maybe the rotation's in degrees. Let me take a quick look at Ray Lib. I think it might be in degrees. No documentation. Not right there. Let's see. It doesn't say. I think it might be in degrees. Let's try that. Let's try just 90. Whoa. What in the world? Okay. Let's try -90. Oh, it's because... Oh, I see. I think I know what I did wrong. Yeah, okay. I think we're almost there. We just need to do one last thing. I think we have to just adjust this to be like 16 by 16. You gotta put the origin in the center of the tile. Better. That's definitely closer. Yo, let's go. We got it. We got it, boy. Let's go. That's it, boy. That's it. That's it, boy. Alrighty. We'll just do tile W divided by 2 here. Whoops. Took a screenshot by mistake. Tile H divided by 2 here. And I don't like that because it is float 32 that it's expecting. So alright, that's good enough. So basically it's working. It's not quite right because we still have it's offset. It needs to be pushed like a little bit more. Yeah, the rotation is 90, which is fine. That works fine. It's just with the width rotation. Yeah, I feel like this isn't correct. I feel like another tile map thing would just have like flip and rotation be separate, which would be nice because then you wouldn't have to do this monstrosity, whatever. Like I don't know if this is why, but fine. I don't know. But yeah, this is actually not bad. I think it needs more sidewalk. There's just not enough sidewalk here. Sidewalk space. This is cool. Okay. So yeah, I definitely need to look into a different tile parser. I believe I'm gonna try. I think I'm gonna try a different art thing here. Cause yeah, I'm not a huge fan. Let me try. You know what? Let me try something with these colors. I'm gonna take a quick back up here. I'm gonna try moving to this larger palette. So the character looks roughly the same, which is fine. But we'll try that same thing with this larger palette here. Yeah, this definitely looks different. Let's take a quick look. Let's actually like watch this in real time. Oh snap! It doesn't like. Oh my goodness! It doesn't like. It doesn't like the player being indexed. It's like, what are you doing? Okay, RGB color again. Save it. All right, there we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and because yeah, it's slightly different. Oh, yeah. Jeez. This mess feels like some RPG Maker stuff. Like, good night. This feels like RPG Maker now. Like these, like that, like the slightly off, like grunge orange down there. You know what? Let's make this a little nicer, I guess. Just had a quick way to restart my I don't yet. Not bad. A little bright, a little ugly, but I mean, it definitely gets warning across. Why are you? Okay. I don't. What the heck? Why? What in the world? I don't. Am I? Okay. I can't tell if I'm going crazy or not. Never mind. I guess I'm just going crazy. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. It's like it's not really. Oh, it's because it's on. Okay. Index mode. Okay. That's why I'm like, what is going on? Okay. So we need a little bit of a duller. Not that bright. There we go. That's better. I think I wanted something darker than this too. Okay. That's ugly. Let's keep with that darker gray. So yeah, it's offset a little bit. That's something we can see. But yeah, this is not bad at all. Yeah, okay. Alright, well, I'm satisfied with this. I think I'm going to stop here. While I have half a brain, I'm going to work a little bit on some other things. Maybe play some games or something, chill out a little bit. But basically, this is nice. This is good. Yeah. Yeah, the street is a little wide. I'm just looking at it, I'm like, yeah, this doesn't quite make sense from like a city design perspective. It's just like, why is the street so wide? But not bad. Maybe if it was like an alleyway or something. This would be on the corner, it wouldn't be in the middle of the street. But yeah, this isn't bad at all. Alright, well, I'm gonna stop here. It's been almost 2.5 hours, a little bit over 2.5 hours, roughly. So thank you very much for watching. It's been real. And I hope to keep making games and make more cool stuff. And we'll see what I use, what I keep going with. I like the way this kind of turns out. This ain't bad. Okay, so anyway, thank you very much for watching. It's been fun. It's been real. I'll catch you guys on the flip side next time. And yeah. Oh, if you have any other, like if you want to basically support, you know, my games or encourage, you know, streams and stuff like that, please feel free to throw me a buck over on Patreon or Bandcamp or wherever, and we'll consider, you know, I'd appreciate it. And yeah, check out the description for links to the tools I use, and we'll see how far and how good I am next time I use Go. Alright, see ya.